I found out about my divorce the same way 2 million strangers did, watching my wife cry on livestream about the baby she was carrying, while painting me as a financial abuser who tracked her every penny. She'd planned everything perfectly. My name is David Russell. I'm 34, and 6 months ago, I believed I had my life figured out. Systems analyst, decent salary, married to a woman who made crying look beautiful on camera. Elena built her empire on morning routines and gratitude journals. 2 million people watched her teach authentic living while I kept our actual life running. They loved our story. Charismatic life coach marries the quiet tech guy. What they didn't see was her practicing emotions in our bathroom mirror, perfecting each expression like rehearsing for a play. I had this habit Elena monetized brilliantly. I documented everything. Receipts, emails, investments. Everything went into organized digital folders. David even saved screenshots of our text arguments. She'd laugh on stream, and the comments would explode with laughing emojis. The changes started 6 months ago. Elena stopped mentioning me in videos. Algorithm optimization, she claimed. She started ending calls when I entered rooms. New passwords on everything. Privacy is self-care, she'd say, quoting her own content. She was building walls while I thought we were just busy. Marcus caught it first. We'd been friends since college. He ran a small investigation firm now, mostly insurance cases. Your wife's creating distance, he said one night. Trust me, I see this pattern weekly. She's stressed about engagement rates dropping. When someone starts erasing you from their narrative, there's always a reason. That Tuesday morning started normal. Elena kissed my forehead before setting up her stream, her usual ritual. I was deep in code when my phone erupted. My colleague Jake messaged first. Dude, your wife is saying some heavy stuff online. Then hundreds of notifications flooded in. Elena was live, crying beautifully, tears that somehow missed her mascara entirely. I need to share something painful, she told her audience. David and I are ending our marriage. I'm pregnant, and I've hidden years of financial manipulation. He monitors every cent, questions every purchase, controls every account. I won't raise a child in fear. She displayed my budget spreadsheets, completely out of context. My retirement planning became financial abuse. My expense tracking became pathological control. The comment section turned into a digital execution. My boss called an hour later. Elena's video had gone viral, and corporate needed me on leave while they investigated. Elena had vanished before her stream ended. When I got home, half her things were gone. The movers said they'd been hired 2 weeks ago. Papers arrived next morning demanding everything. The pregnancy gave her priority, her lawyer claimed. She wanted the divorce finalized in 60 days. 3 nights later, alone in our half-empty loft, my backup system completed its weekly sync. A folder appeared that hadn't existed on our main cloud. Project_backup_March 2024. My hands shook as I opened it. But before I could process what I was seeing, I heard her key in the lock. Elena walked in like she still lived there, designer heels clicking on our hardwood. Forgot my ring light, she said, not looking at me. Then she saw my laptop screen. For a second, neither of us moved. You're really going through my deleted files? She laughed, but it was sharp, nervous. That's a new level of pathetic, even for you. I turned the laptop toward her. $300,000, Elena, from your followers. She crossed the room in 3 steps and slapped me hard enough that my ears rang. You have no idea what you're messing with. Tyler has lawyers who eat people like you for breakfast. It was the first time she'd mentioned Tyler. The first time she'd shown real fear. Inside was a criminal blueprint. Elena had been collecting deposits for exclusive wellness retreats. $5,000 per person for transformative experiences. But the retreats were scheduled for 6 months out, always pushing dates when people asked. Money flowed through multiple payment processors into business accounts, then offshore. She downloaded my financial planning templates and modified them to create fake business projections, making the scam look legitimate to potential investors she was courting. The fake pregnancy was her exit timer. Secure the divorce before the retreat's latest postponed date. When followers realized the fraud, she'd be gone. The money untouchable. Everything blamed on our messy divorce disrupting her business. The folder contained something else. Correspondence with someone named Tyler, who'd run similar scams. He was coaching her through each step, taking a cut. They'd met at a marketing conference 2 years ago. The next morning, I did something I hadn't done in years. I cried. Not the pretty tears Elena performed for cameras, but ugly, chest-heaving sobs in my car outside Marcus's office. 12 years, I'd edited her first videos on my laptop, held her through panic attacks when she had 30 subscribers, defended her to my family, who said she was using me, and she'd been planning my destruction for 2 years. The worst part? In her folder, I found drafts of her divorce announcement from 8 months ago. 8 months of her coming home, kissing me goodnight, discussing our future vacation to Portugal, all while scripting my public humiliation. I wiped my face, straightened my shirt, and walked into Marcus's office. I need to hire you, officially. Everything legal. He brought Ana Gonzalez, a forensic accountant who'd left government work for private practice. Within 3 days, not 12 hours, she'd mapped the money flow. Elena's mistake wasn't the grandmother's name. It was simpler. She'd used the same tax ID number for 2 different payment processors, creating a paper trail between the separate businesses. We didn't rush. We spent 2 weeks building an airtight case, working with my lawyer to ensure every piece of evidence was legally obtained and properly documented. No leaks, no posts, no warnings. During those 2 weeks, I did something I'm not proud of. I created a fake Instagram account and joined Elena's private coaching group. Watching her was like studying a masterclass in manipulation. She'd cry on cue about our divorce, then immediately upsell a healing from narcissistic abuse course for $1,200. One night, she went live at 2 a.m., claiming she couldn't sleep because of trauma. Tyler's apartment in Dallas. She was practicing her victim act while literally sleeping with her accomplice. But what gutted me was seeing the comments. Single mothers spending grocery money. College students taking loans. A widower named James saying Elena's content was the only thing keeping him going after his wife's death. She heart-reacted his comment while planning to steal his retirement savings. The divorce mediation happened 6 weeks after Elena's livestream. No cameras allowed. Elena tried to bring her crew, but the mediator shut it down immediately. She looked smaller without her ring light, more human. Elena arrived 20 minutes late, wearing the Cartier watch I'd saved 6 months to buy for our 10th anniversary. She made sure to gesture with that hand constantly. She'd also brought a printed stack of my old Reddit posts from years before we met, highlighting every comment where I'd mentioned being financially responsible or planning for the future. Evidence of his controlling nature, she announced, sliding them across the table. He's been this way since before we met. I was groomed into accepting financial abuse. Nash looked uncomfortable but played along. The pettiness was breathtaking. She'd weaponized my pride in being responsible. My client's been beyond reasonable, her lawyer Robert Nash started, considering documented financial abuse in her pregnancy. She could take everything. Elena touched her stomach gently, still performing, even without cameras. My lawyer, Maria Santos, had prepared for 3 weeks. We need pregnancy documentation first. Standard practice for asset division. We'll provide that shortly, Nash said. We also need clarification on your client's additional income sources. She's stated under oath she has no business ventures beyond YouTube. That's correct, Elena said firmly. Maria pulled out her laptop. Then perhaps you can explain these business registrations, these payment processing accounts, these deposits from followers for retreats. Elena's composure cracked. Those are future projects. Future projects that have collected $312,000 in deposits over 8 months. The room went silent. Maria continued methodically. Bank records, payment processor statements, the downloaded templates with metadata showing Elena's computer as the source, communications with Tyler about the exit strategy, and finally, medical records we'd legally requested through the divorce proceedings. Elena's only medical visits were for cosmetic procedures. This is circumstantial, Nash argued weakly. Anna spoke for the first time. I've prepared a full forensic accounting report. Every transaction traced. The payment processor has already frozen the accounts based on fraud indicators. The Federal Trade Commission has opened an investigation. Elena's mask finally slipped. David, you don't understand. Tyler said everyone does this. Don't say anything else, Nash interrupted. But Elena was unraveling. The pregnancy was Tyler's idea. He said it would make the divorce faster, cleaner. No one would question a pregnant woman. She turned to me then, and for the first time in months, I saw the real Elena. Not the performer, not the guru, just a scared woman who'd gambled everything and lost. You were supposed to just accept it, she whispered. You always accepted everything. Why couldn't you just let me go? There was something broken in her voice, almost pleading. Maria later told me it was the moment she knew we'd won completely, when Elena stopped performing anger and started showing genuine desperation. The mediator called a recess, but Elena didn't move. She sat there staring at her hands, the Cartier watch suddenly looking like a shackle. Nash was packing his briefcase. This mediation is over. The arrest happened 2 months later, after a grand jury indictment. Not at the airport. Elena was too smart for that. Federal agents arrested her at Tyler's apartment in Dallas. He was indicted too. Turns out he'd run this scam with 4 other influencers. The trial took 6 months. Elena's defense tried to paint Tyler as the mastermind, her as the victim. But the evidence was overwhelming. 312 followers defrauded. People who'd saved for months for a transformation that never existed. The judge called it a calculated betrayal of parasocial trust. 7 years federal for Elena. 10 for Tyler. He had priors. Full restitution ordered. The day before Elena reported to federal prison, she did one last live stream from her lawyer's office. Not on her main platform, that was gone, but on a burner account someone leaked to me. No tears this time. She looked directly at the camera and said, David, if you're watching, you won. You got your revenge. I hope it feels as empty as our marriage always was. Then she listed every intimate moment from our relationship. Our first kiss, the night I proposed, the miscarriage we never told anyone about, and rated them by how well she'd performed emotion. The miscarriage was my masterpiece, she said. I studied grief for weeks to nail that performance. David never suspected. I turned it off. Even Anna, sitting beside me, looked sick. She's trying to hurt you one last time, she said. But Elena was wrong about one thing. The revenge didn't feel empty. It felt like chemotherapy. Poison that kills the disease but makes you sick in the process. Sometimes that's what healing requires. Elena's channel died the day of her arrest. Her followers, the ones who defended her during the divorce announcement, felt the betrayal twice. Once for the money, once for believing her tears. During the victim impact statements, a woman named Sarah spoke about saving for 6 months for Elena's retreat while battling depression. I thought she understood pain, but she was just performing it. My employer reinstated me after the indictment cleared my name. Full back pay, formal apology, and honestly, a better position. Turns out documenting everything is a valuable skill. The day after Elena's sentencing, I did something petty. I logged into our old shared Pinterest account. She'd forgotten about it completely, where she'd saved hundreds of boards planning our future. Dream house in Tuscany, baby room ideas, growing old together aesthetic. I screenshot everything, then deleted it all, replaced every board with a single image, a screenshot of her federal inmate number. It took her prison friends 6 months to tell her about it. She sent a message through her lawyer calling me pathetically vindictive. I framed that letter. Sometimes the small revenges taste the sweetest. Marcus helped me move to a smaller place. You know what's ironic? He said. She created so much content about authentic living, she forgot to actually live authentically. I found one video in my archives from 3 years ago, before the scam started. Elena was teaching about gratitude, and for a moment she went off script. Started talking about how I'd supported her dream when she had 17 subscribers. Her eyes got soft, real. Then she caught herself, snapped back into performance mode. That might have been the last honest moment she recorded. The backup server still runs, humming quietly. Not from paranoia, but from wisdom. In an age where people can delete their mistakes and rewrite their stories, sometimes the only defense is an ugly truth that won't go away. I kept one printed photo from our wedding. Not for nostalgia, but as a reminder that even the most beautiful performances are still performances. Elena's looking at the camera in it, not at me. I should have noticed that earlier. Anna and I get coffee sometimes. She says the Tyler connection made this case federal immediately, crossing state lines, conspiracy charges. Without him, Elena might have gotten probation. Greed led her to him, and he led her to prison. 6 months after the trial, Tyler's ex-girlfriend reached out to me. Turned out Elena wasn't his first partner in this scam, or in bed. She sent me screenshots of Elena's messages to her from a year ago, asking how to handle Tyler's mood swings, and whether the money was worth the emotional abuse. Elena had known Tyler was using her, just like she was using everyone else. They were two predators who thought they were each playing the other. The ex-girlfriend's final text haunts me. I tried to warn Elena, told her Tyler records everything for blackmail. She said she was too smart to get caught. Somewhere in federal custody, there's probably a hard drive with videos of Elena practicing her divorce speech in Tyler's bed, thinking she was the mastermind. Every morning I make coffee in my small kitchen. No ring lights, no cameras, no content. Just real coffee for a real morning. Elena taught me something valuable. The most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves. She performed happiness so long, she forgot what it actually felt like. Her followers still message me sometimes, apologizing for the hate they sent during the divorce stream. I don't blame them. Elena was that good at her performance. We all believed her, until the backup showed us who she really was. The woman who taught 2 million people how to live authentically forgot the most basic rule. The truth doesn't need rehearsals. It just needs to be saved somewhere safe, waiting for its moment.